Sadnam Aloha. So today I want to talk about the sun moving into the third gate all week long. And the theme here of this video transmission is the fear of divine feminine chaos is the root of control. So we'll go over the post-full moon energy. We had a very powerful full moon this weekend. We'll go over the third gate, the meaning of the third gate, with Pluto opposing Mars, squaring Lilith. And then some coyote medicine, how the coyote can help you. As a totem, it's the third gate totem. And then we'll go over the Cathar belief system briefly as it applies to this video. And if you haven't watched my Cathar video, the Soul Trap one, I would suggest that you put this video on pause and go back and watch that the first 20 minutes or so, just to get caught up. Because a lot of the people on my fractal line, this is your past life, is the Cathars. And yeah, we'll go into this, how this is affecting you in this lifetime. So we'll go over that, and then the shadow of the Cathar belief system. We'll go into the High Priestess versus the Empress energy, and then 5 action items that you can do this week. And then we'll do the Phoenix fractal reading, twin flame message, and human design type messages. So you'll know that you're on my fractal, meaning that you belong in this soul tribe, you could call it, by the sound of my voice. If you find the sound of my voice soothing and relaxing, and you feel like your body is relaxed and you're receiving, you're receptive to the frequencies that are coming from me, then you're probably on my fractal. And you resonate with the message. And resonating with the message means that you're remembering. I'm here to help you remember who you are. Okay, so let's go into the post-full moon energy here. And so a very, very powerful full moon this weekend, and you probably felt it. If not, there's a deeper part of you that's felt it for sure. And so these old karmic contracts, meaning what is no longer aligned with your destiny, with your soul, has dissolved at the soul level. So you may think, well, nothing's happened, right? It's still around. No, it's happened. You can count on this. These contracts have dissolved at the soul level, and it's just your 3D world has to catch up now, right? Now, because it's moving through time and space. So you may feel heavy, exhausted, confused, or even numb to your feelings. And that's the nervous system. It's your nervous system realizing it's no longer enslaved to this contract, this old karmic contract. So these patterns, these old patterns that are no longer aligned with your soul, they're not being fueled anymore. They're not being fueled. So you're probably feeling the energy drop. There's an energy drop. So just roll with it, right? Roll with it. So because you've been unplugged from this old system and you're detoxing from it. You're detoxing from it. Hence like the tiredness and the confusion and disorientation, right? So this will continue. This full moon energy will continue this week. But now we're moving into a new energy. And this is the third gate. So the third gate. So you can see it down here, right, in the chart. And so you want to check if you have the third gate natally. Maybe you have it natally somewhere in your chart. Then you're going to resonate with it. If not, doesn't matter. You're going to feel it. Feel this energy because this is a global transit chart. So it's coming off the sacral. It's coming off the sacral, and in terms of a channel, it's the channel of mutation. The 3 and the 60 join together, and they create the channel of mutation. So it's the shadow of chaos, which we're going to be talking a lot in this video about. Chaos, it's the gift of innovation, and it's the city of innocence. Innocence. Okay? So you're not lost. Third gate says you're not lost, you're mutating. So mutation is a quantum leap. It's making a quantum leap. It's irrevocable change. So this isn't a breakdown, it's an initiation. So remember, this is post full moon. So the chaos you feel is what the old timeline calls your awakening. And chaos is the void that we hear about in spiritual teachings. This is the primordial state of the universe, which is not about order. It was chaos. The primordial state of the universe is chaos. It's not order. So it was dark, fertile, formless, and alive. Right? So this is the divine feminine energy right here. Right? Is chaos. So the divine feminine does not fear chaos. She remembers it as home. She holds it and she bursts from this place. It's very creative, right? It's a very creative space here, this chaos. So she's the Shakti, right? She's the storm. The divine feminine embodies chaos through movement, eruption, and transmutation. And even Kundalini energy, right? That's coiled at the base of the spine, that wraps around 2.5 times around the spine. Kundalini, that lies dormant until it's awakened. Well, Kundalini is chaos, chaos in motion. It's wild, it's uncoiled, and it's electrical. And this is you, divine feminine, is chaos, right? But you've been tamed out of it, you've been conditioned out of it, right? This chaos. So chaos is not destruction for its own sake. It's purification through disobedience to false order. To false order. So divine feminine dances the wild spiral. Right? She's not a linear ladder. The masculine often moves through goal setting and strategy and vertical hierarchy, but the feminine is cyclical, emergent, and spiraling. She spirals. The energy of the divine feminine. So her path includes regressions, deaths and rebirths, lunar moods, ancestral bleed-throughs, and descent into darkness on purpose, going into the shadow. Divine feminine does not fear the shadow. And then she doesn't rush to fix the chaos. The divine feminine does not rush to fix the chaos. She lets it teach her. She doesn't try to control the chaos, right? That's the weak masculine. The weak masculine is very triggered by the chaos of the feminine, right? Wants to put order and structure on the chaos, which is through the mind. So this is your body, the chaos within your body. So in modern trauma work, if you've done any trauma work, this is a somatic body that trembles and shakes and breathes and sobs its way to truth. This is the divine feminine. Chaos is wisdom expressed through the nervous system. So when a chaos arrives in the feminine, it looks like, an emotional breakdown that bursts new boundaries, a wild expression of your sensuality, reclaiming your body from shame, a psychic opening that maybe makes her feel crazy before she becomes clear. The divine feminine must pass through chaos because her freedom lives on the other side of surrender. So order's not going to save her. Control is not going to save her. Her rage, right? This is righteous anger, is holy. Her grief is a portal. Her confusion is metamorphosis. Right? And when she stops trying to control her chaos, she becomes a clear channel for the divine. A clear channel for the divine. So the third gate is really telling you right now, maybe you are feeling this chaos. Maybe it's being expressed in the external, like, I don't know what's happening and where I'm going to, I feel so disoriented. Where am I going to live? Where am I going to work? Right? Like questions like that. And it's just like, it's time, if you're in this, if there's chaos around you, is to embrace it because it's part of the creative process. It's part of the creative process. And it's part of your divine feminine nature. And it's time for you to start embracing this energy. Okay, so let's go to the coyote. The coyote, so the coyote's connected to the third gate. And so the coyote's the fool, right? I'm in this chaos. I'm just the fool. Remember the fool in the tarot. The one who makes fun, mocks structure, and trips over the ego and finds wisdom through chaos. It enjoys the chaos. It's not trying to control it. Coyote laughs at the illusions and exposes the false hierarchies, right? And just the illusion that we have any kind of control in life, right? So coyote's medicine is you can't control life, but you can dance with it. You can laugh with it, the chaos, right? So in creation myths, coyote accidentally makes the world while playing, seducing, and wondering, and having fun. Coyote has fun. He's a trickster, right? He's a trickster. It's like, bring it on, bring the chaos on, because I know what's coming after the chaos. Order, chaos always precedes order. Order will come. It's part of the cycles of life, right? Chaos, order. Chaos, order. So, gate 3, Coyote says, let's not fear the unknown. Let's play with it until a miracle shows up. Let's laugh with it until a miracle shows up. Let's trust life. Why don't we try that new approach instead of worrying and having anxiety about change? This is great change, the third gate. Third gate, you know, if you look back at the chart, right? If you look back at the chart, there's the third gate there, and it's the 60 coming off the root. This is all about limitation. This is about containers, right? Containers. This is about, you know, roles that you play in your life. Containers meaning even your relationships, and you're outgrowing, right? We're always outgrowing. We're growing and evolving. We don't stay the same, right? So Coyote is saying to embrace this. The only thing we can count on is change. So I've outgrown this limitation, right? And this is propelling me into the 3, which is chaos, because I'm outgrowing this container, and it's not landed yet, right? The form hasn't landed yet for me. So to look at it like that too, it's like these old clothes that don't fit me anymore, right? But it's kind of in the in-between space. So maybe you're feeling that, like, okay, I'm seeing the loss and I see what I'm moving away from, but I don't see what I'm moving towards yet, you know? Not fully. Like I've had a glimpse of it or a sense of it or a feeling of it, but I haven't actually seen it land in 3D yet. And this is when you want to be the coyote, like really bringing the coyote medicine and having fun. So the feminine chaos, right? So the divine feminine lives for the chaos, right? Lives for the chaos because you can transmute it, right? In your energetic womb, your energetic womb. So divine feminines have a physical womb, right? Their physical womb, but they also have an energetic womb, and that's part of their energy structure. So you transmute this chaos, right, into something completely different. So an emotional wave that you can't control, right? So you've got this emotion moving through you that you can't control. Well, what do you transmute it into? It's like teaching the nervous system. It's teaching your nervous system to trust feeling without collapsing, without drowning in the emotions, right? So that's what it gets transmuted to. Ending a relationship suddenly, feminine chaos. This is reclaiming your soul from energetic bondage, which a lot of the fractals are doing here. Reclaiming your soul from energetic bondage. Sexual awakening. This burns the shame and calls the soul into the body. So we're going to go deeper into this. Losing it, right, and crying for hours. This is transmuted into releasing generational pain that the mind couldn't access. Right? Career shift without a plan, This is the soul course correcting in real time. And that's really embracing the coyote. You know, I remember a time where I was looking for a place to live, No, nothing in sight, right? I checked Craigslist and looked at all these places, and there didn't seem to be much opportunity for me at all. But the place that I was living was not, it was like that 60. I had outgrown it. I had outgrown this place. It was way too small. I was making all kinds of excuses why I should stay, and they were all based on survival and money and scarcity, of course, right? And I just got to that point, right, one night, and it's just like, you know what? What do I know for sure? I know for sure I can't live here anymore. It's not supporting me. It's not supporting my work. I feel like my body feels so contracted here, right? I don't feel like it's expansive. It's not where I'm going. I can't see where I want to go in this place I'm living. There's not a match. So that night, I just said to myself, said to the divine, I don't know. All I know for sure is I have to leave here. And I put my notice in and everything. And there was about a 3-day gap, where there was nothing, right? And the fear is trying to get in, and the ego is trying to get in. What did you do? You should have just kept that place. And then an opportunity showed up after 3 days. So sometimes we have to make that stand, you know? I don't know where I'm going, but I can't be here anymore, right? I just know it. My body is telling me no. So that's, well, with you too, Divine Feminine, it's to trust your body right now. What's your body communicating to you about where you're living, where you're working, who are the people in your life? And your body will give you very clear signs, especially now because you have this knowledge, right? You have this knowledge now and this wisdom about the power of your body, that you can't unhear it. You know, your body will get louder and louder and louder. Okay, so that's Coyote and the third gate. And then let's go back to the Cathars. So, you know, I talked about this in my last video, that we have to go back to our past lives, especially if you're one, and if you're on my fractal, you've done a lot of work already. You've done a lot of internal work. You've done inner work. You've done shadow work. You've done family work. You've done forgiveness work. You've done trauma work, right? You've done a lot of spiritual work. And still, there's this wall. There's a wall, right? There's a wall there. Well, that's when we have to go back to our past lives. We have to go back farther than our childhood wounds, right? Into our past life. So the Cathars, which I talked about, so you want to put this, if you haven't watched that video that I did on the Cathars, put this on pause and then go back and watch that and then come back here. So then you're up to speed, because I'm not going to repeat myself on this video. So there's a lot of you that have already watched it, right? So we have to go back to the time of the Cathars. And this is the 1200s and 1300s, right? They were completely eliminated by the Catholic Church at that time. It's like almost 1 million of them had died and burned to death, right? Hunted down. So the Cathar soul, so a lot of the trauma of the soul is coming into this lifetime, right? So the Cathars, you as a Cathar soul that's listening, you've worked hard to awaken your High Priestess, right? You've worked very, very hard to awaken your High Priestess back in your past life as a Cathar, and then onward. So this makes you very intuitive already. So you came in with a lot of gifts, right? From this, a lot of gifts, but a lot of trauma. And that's what I want to talk about, that's the soul trauma and how to navigate through this time now, because you've got a big destiny here for this time. So intuition, sacred sight, right? Wisdom, right? But it came at a cost. And this is you denied your Empress energy, right? So High Priestess is like third eye is open, spiritually gifted, very intuitive, very, very wise, has a lot of spiritual knowledge already. That's awakening, right? It's going to awaken more and more and more. But it came at a cost and denied your Empress energy. So this is the part of you that lives in the body, in your physical body, right? And it lives in pleasure, and it lives in the sacred chaos, in the chaos here. So this is what's missing for you. That's why the High Priestess is in hiding. Your High Priestess is in hiding because she's traumatized from her past life as a Cathar, burned at the stake, persecuted, betrayed by the men in her life during that time, didn't protect her. Right? So you've got that, but the High Priestess can't come in unless you embrace the Empress. So we're going to go into why that's so challenging. So the Cathars, and I'll do more videos on this. It's like I really had to cut back. It's like I wanted to share so much on this video, but it would be like super, super long. It's really for an online retreat, right? To really go deeper into this. But what you do need to know is the Cathar's belief system. So these are deep, deep within you. And I actually have uncovered these too myself, right? So the Cathars believe they're very much opposed to the church, the Catholic Church. So the Cathars believed that salvation meant escaping the material world, right? Escaping the material world. So they denied the body, the flesh, the sexual fire, and thinking it was a trap of the Demiurge, right? So the Demiurge, basically the belief system that you need to know about, that there was two gods, right? The Cathars believed in two gods. And one god ruled the material world. And they called this the Demiurge. And this is like connected to ego, right? And fear. And I'll talk about this more in another video. And then the other god, right? Which is of light. So if you look at the Bible, it would be the Old Testament would be the Demiurge, and then the New Testament would be like the real God. So there was these two. So the Demiurge basically ruled over the material world, right? But in doing so, right, and embracing the High Priestess and seeing the material world as all bad and wrong and ruled by this Demiurge, right, that they exiled the feminine, right? So you've exiled the feminine, and you've been at war with your own body ever since, right? So everything in the physical is what the Cathars believed. Everything in the physical, including your own physical body, was of this Demiurge, and that you're basically a soul trapped in the material world. And so to reach salvation, which means like escaping from this matrix that we live in, was to deny everything of the material, right? So this would be a complete denial of your physical body. And you know that the divine feminine, her power is in her physical form. So this is why the war, where you can feel this war in your body. There's a war going on in your body because you've exiled the feminine. You've exiled this Empress within you, right? And so Pluto and Scorpio are the modern embodiment of the ancient Gnostic soul stream that stood against the Demiurge. And so you aren't just spiritually curious, you're coded to challenge, expose, and ultimately dismantle this parasitic mind structures that come from the Demiurge that keep the collective asleep. So I'm hoping that you get this, right? So the Demiurge, like think of the movie The Matrix, right? That would be the Demiurge. Okay. And so why you feel your fear, your desire, you may have this as a Cathar soul, why you feel your desire. So the Cathar wound is that the body is a trap. The body is a trap. So the Cathars believe the material world was created by a false god, the Demiurge, a parasitic consciousness. So this included your physical body, your sexuality, and your desire. So they saw sex as a trap, a way to pull souls into this broken world. So much so that they didn't believe in sex for procreation, because it would be bringing a trapped soul into this world, this broken world. So even procreation, was viewed as a curse, another soul trapped in flesh. But a few Cathars, the divine masculine and feminine pairs, because they would pair up, a few of them secretly practiced sacred sexuality as ascension, as tools of ascension, but they were exiled and persecuted because they looked at the Cathars, you want to say mainstream Cathars, saw the sex as a demiurge, was part of the demiurge, a way of keeping us trapped, right? So they were demonized, right? And so these are the early twin flames, right? The divine feminine and masculine pairs. And now they're reawakening through you. Remember, the prophecy is like 700 years back later that the Cathars would return, and that's 2021 and now. So what you think is shame in terms of your desire, right? And you want to dig this up because you've got your true sexuality, your original sexuality, which is innocent. That's what the third gate. But then you have this compensation over it, and this is your conditioning. I'm talking about your true desire, your true sexual nature, right? You're going to come across shame. So what you think is shame is actually ancestral fear, right? Because you not only had divine feminine, you not only had the Cathars on you about this, demonizing you and making you wrong, but you also had the Catholic Church on you as well, right? And they would demonize women too. So there's no freedom here. So of course you're going to repress this Empress energy within you, but it also cut you off from your power, right? It cut you off from your power. So what you call chaos, trying to control your chaos, like trying to control your emotional state, right? Why can't I just be flatline, like my partner, like my demiurge partner that I've attracted to me, right? As a Cathar soul. Why can't I be like him? He's all logical and stuff. He doesn't have these spikes of emotions, right? Because he's not you. He's not a divine feminine, right? And he's scared to death of the divine feminine. So trying to control chaos takes you out of your power. It's about embracing your chaos and knowing that it's like a storm. The storm will come and go, but there's wisdom that comes from this chaos, embracing your divine feminine chaos. It's very, very creative, right? So this is the path to your liberation. So what the Cathars were teaching you is like the check in and out. Just completely deny your body, deny your desires, deny your sexuality, and then you'll be liberated. You'll be out of this trap, right? And that's why you're back, right? That's why the Cathars are back. Yes, you're here to break down the system, and right? Break down the system in this demiurge system. But you're also here to embrace your Empress energy. That's what's missing. And so it's not about ascending outward, it's about descending. It's about sinking into your body now. And that's how you transcend, right? This material world and go off to your next journey, your next adventure. It's coming inward, right? Embracing this, that there's power here, and that you have to let go of these old belief systems, right? They're not going to serve you or me at all. So this is about facing the chaos, right? Facing the chaos. Facing the chaos. So this is bringing the High Priestess in. Otherwise, she's up above. She's not embodied. She hasn't been embodied, right? So this is what you're missing, is the embodiment of your High Priestess energy, and that means to come into your body. It's time to come into your body now, and you know what is waiting for you is a lot of feelings, right? A lot of feelings from this lifetime and your past life, right? So what does your body say? Well, your body doesn't trust you, for one thing. You've got to look at your body as an entity in itself. So this is the thing I wanted to say with the Cathars, and where they got it wrong was they saw the material world as evil, basically, right? They saw the duality. The material world is evil, and then the spirit, the soul, is pure and good, right? So right away they're in duality, and duality is not real. Right? There's no duality. You want to be in that state of oneness. And so that's accepting. It's about accepting your body in the material world. And it's all neutral. The material world is neutral. It's what we project on it that makes it good or evil. The same with your body. Your body is neutral. It's neutral. Where it comes into play is when you're in war with your body because you're trying to project. Right? You're projecting on your body, right? And we live in a world, like I said, that women live in energetic cages, and their bodies are being controlled, right? By these systems, these demiurge systems. Because the demiurge is terrified of women coming into their power, and that means coming into their body. So your body is neutral. The problem is when you let the ego hijack your body, and the ego is telling you what's wrong with your body, what needs to be fixed, right? So the body is neutral, but the body is saying to you, it's like, okay, I want to incarnate into my body, but your body doesn't trust you from all these years, right? So the body is going to say, you left me before for your intellect so that you could fit in. You left me, abandoned me. You've starved me of food. You've starved me of real love and nourishment, spiritual nourishment even too. You poison me with drugs, like legal and illegal drugs. You don't listen to me. You've offered me up to unworthy, weak men. You've given me over to unworthy, weak men, right? That don't revere me, that don't treat me as a divine feminine. They use me, right? You've called me evil. You called me evil, judged me. You criticized me, even hated me. You've tried to dominate me with your mind for the approval of others. You've disrespected my wisdom when I've said yes. I've said yes to things and you say no with your words. I've said no to things and you say yes with your words. You've disrespected my wisdom. This is your power as a divine feminine, as your body. Why would I open to you now, right? And what's your answer as a divine feminine? Because I remember now. I remember now the power of my body. I remember now, and I won't leave you again, right? And that's going to help with the chaos. And then there's a lot of chaos in this body, right? There's a lot of chaos. But you're going to, in terms of going into your body, it's allowing your emotional body to do all the work, right? The emotional body does all the work. When you get out of the way, right? That means getting out of the way with your mind. Okay. So that's the chaos. And then the other thing with the Pluto and Scorpios. So if you have a Pluto and Scorpio placement, you're definitely on my fractal. And if you have a lot, like a stellium in the 8th house, or a lot of Scorpio, a stellium in Scorpio, or even Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, right? And if you really, really resonate with my message, then you're a pioneer, right? So the Pluto and Scorpio women are the exorcists of the Demiurge, right? So this is like ego. This is the ego world that we live in. So the Demiurge operates through ego survival. So think of what, our media, our messages that we received, our education, all of this. This is the Demiurge system. So the Cathars got it right about this, right? This system is based in, the Demiurge operates through ego survival, separation, control, repression of feelings, obsession with order, and surface image, right? Order is really, really important. Terrified of the chaos, right? This system. So Pluto and Scorpio woman, right, holds shadow wisdom. You've come in with shadow wisdom. You've come in with the ability for sexual alchemy. You are built to deal with chaos. That's your toolbox, right? Your place of work, right? As an alchemist is the sexual alchemy and chaos, dealing with chaos. You hold death initiations, able to go through the birth rebirth process. You're built for this. Psychic truth and power. You have power that can't be bought or tamed, right? Pluto Scorpio women are very, very powerful. So you're a spiritual disruptor, and you expose what the Demiurge tries to hide. So you awaken by going through your own underworld first, right? Going deep into the shadow, the abuse, the addictions, the betrayal, the body shame, the abandonment, and then you emerge as the priestess, the medicine woman, a truth teller. The phoenix, right? The phoenix. Cross of the sleeping phoenix that happens in 2027. So let's look at some things that you can do here. So allowing your body to speak. All right. So this is a process, right? This is a process. So you want to breathe into the root portal, right? So there's an area between the perineum and the sex organ. It's like a little spot there. And this is directly connected to the third gate. And it's the place of prana, your prana. Right? So you want to inhale slowly and direct your breath into that space. And you can do this barefoot, seated, or standing. And let your belly expand. Let your jaw release. And do this 10 slow breaths. And just notice what awakens, maybe an ache, a warmth, a memory, or resistance, right? And do that. And this flames the fires of the divine feminine. And that's where all the shame is. And start to release that, right? It's getting in touch with your power in your body. You want to move your desire, right? Your desire is not wrong. It's coming from your soul, right? If you have desire in your body, don't fight it anymore. The body is telling you something. That desire coming through your body, it's telling you something. And it's coming from your soul, right? Not from the ego and the mind. So you want to dance. Dancing is really good for the divine feminine, or shake or flow. You want to put music not for the mind. There's music for the mind. Oh, that's so interesting. Da, da, da. No, you want to put music on that moves your hips, that moves your body, and let your body lead, right? So it's not, you're not performing for somebody. You're not self-conscious. You're just allowing your body to lead and move the way it wants to move. And this is going to move your desire. Erotic expression through journaling. So you want to write from the voice of Eros without censoring yourself. And this will help remove the shame of your desire, right? So you can start off with, I want to be touched, like, how do I want to be touched? And start writing. If I trusted my desire, what would I do? Well, my desires in my body, what would I do? What would I do? Right. The place in my body that wants to awaken, that's been numb, right? There's no life there. What part of my body do I want to awaken? And you want to write for 10 minutes without stopping. And then read it aloud to your body as if your body's listening, because it is. You can do that. You can just on your phone do a screen grab of this, right? And then thigh touching ritual. So gently place your hands on your inner thighs while breathing slowly, and you repeat the phrase, "It's safe to feel like this. It's safe to feel this. It's safe to want and desire." And let your body soften where it once braced, right? Your thighs as a divine feminine are closed down. Your thighs and your hips are closed down. So this is about opening up your divine feminine energy, right? And then the sacred flame mirror work. And you want to look into the mirror and eye to eye and say, "I forgive myself for betraying my body. I allow my desire to come home. I am the flame and I don't need to be tamed." And you can do this by candlelight, right? So let your reflection see your permission to burn clean. So there's some things that you can do to start to awaken this body. And that's what I would suggest to all the divine feminines, is to really start listening to your body, right? So you want to listen to your body, like the people that are your environment, right? So maybe you're in an environment where your body feels constricted. My breath is constricted, and right, my body just does not feel good in this environment. Maybe you're in a space that's like, okay, well, the contracts have been resolved, but it hasn't reached 3D yet, right? Well, this is when you want to take as much time as you can. It's like, I'm going to go to a park, or I'm going to go to a place where I do feel my body feels safe and it can relax, right? I'm going to spend more time away from this environment. And this will help like really build your confidence in terms of your body and the communication, and heal. It's going to help heal your body too. And then your body's going to trust you more. And the same thing with work. You want to really be in touch with your body. How do I feel around these people? Right? Am I relaxed? Is my body opening to these people, to this person? Or is it shutting down and closing? You know, and it'd be listening to your mind. Your mind has been completely programmed and taken over and hijacked by this Demiurge consciousness, right? So you want to start with your body, right? And that's going to really, really lead you on where you're supposed to be, right? So you want to do that for place of living, where you work, and then the people and friends that you hang out with, right? And maybe you're like, oh my God, I don't feel relaxed about anybody. Well, then you're completely in the wrong fractal, right? But as you unravel that and relax more and come into your power, because you're a magnet, divine feminine, everything is attracted to you. So the right people will show up, the right opportunities will show up for you. Okay. So let's go to the readings. Okay, so let's go to the readings. And this is the one for the fractal line, for the sun in the third gate. And I forgot to mention too, Pluto opposing Mars, squaring Black Moon Lilith. This is all about a sexual awakening, right? A sexual awakening for the fractal. So this is learning to trust, right? We're learning to trust your desires. And this is it's not about lust. You know what I mean? It's not just about lust. This is about like the memory, the remembrance of like deep soul merging, right? Through intimacy. So that's what's coming up. And Black Moon Lilith is like throwing off all this old garbage, right? These old programs about what it means to be a divine feminine. Okay, so this is for the fractal, the Phoenix fractal. And so what part of the body is calling them home right now? And you got the Two of Pentacles reversed. What's calling you home is your hips and your root, right? Your root chakra. your nervous system, and those exercises will really help that I suggested. Your nervous system needs attention. The inner balance of your stability, right? Your sacral stability, especially if you're a generator, manifesting generator. And this is the part of you that's been juggling too much, managing, avoiding, performing, and now it's collapsing. The dog and pony show is collapsing, and it's saying, choose me. Let the weight go. Come back down to your body speaking to you. Like, let all this managing and juggling go and come into the body. So the body wants stillness, right? The body wants stillness. It wants you to love it. It wants you to love your body. It doesn't need to be stimulated. So this card shows you where you've been, trying to keep everything in balance, right? Juggling emotions, juggling expectations, all your roles that you play, your desires, micromanaging your embodiment, trying to get it right, trying to get everything right. And now the body, especially your root, right? Your root and your nervous system, right, are saying like, no more. I can't do this anymore. You need to come back into the body. Stop being ruled by the mind, right? So what shadow for the fractal? And to trust. A lot, I can hear you. Well, how's anything going to get done if I drop everything, right? I'm the one that's holding it all together. Well, that gives you the experience of watching the divine, right? Watching the divine. This is coyote medicine, right? Like, just watch the divine come in for miracles. Just play with the chaos. Let things get messy and chaotic. Stop trying to place order on your chaos. So what shadow must be witnessed before you can soften? Divine feminines have to soften. You got the Ace of Wands. Heavy sexual card, the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands reversed. What does that say? That you are fearing your own desires, right? And this is going to come from the Cathar past lives. You fear your own desires. The belief that your sexual fire will burn the other. I've been told that I'm too intense. I'm too sexual. I'm too overpowering in my sexual energy. You need to cool it down, right? And so this is the shame, right? This is the shame, the rejection, right? You've been rejected in the past. You've been shamed. So this is a core Lilith, right? Black Moon Lilith wound. If you let your fire rise, your desire rise, you'll lose control, right? You won't be loved, right? You'll be punished. And so you must witness where you've dimmed your erotic pulse, right? Your divine feminine sexual nature to feel safe, right? Yeah. And weak men can't handle this. They can't handle this kind of fire coming from the divine feminine, right? You need a divine masculine that can hold this energy, right? And let you express. Because it affects your health, right? If you're repressing your sexual energy, it's a life force energy, right? And if you're unable, like say, maybe you're single or whatever, and you're not in a situation where that's happening, then you can channel it towards your creativity, right? So keep that in mind too. So what fire is awakening within you, and it can even scare you? And that's the Five of Swords. So this is conflict, and it's saying that you're willing. You're finally willing to lose what's not aligned, right? This is really big for you on the fractal line, the divine feminines. Like, I'm finally ready to let this go. It's not aligned with me anymore. I need to choose me, right? I got to start choosing me. I got to start claiming myself. This is my life, right? I'm tired of living somebody else's life, right? So this is not a peaceful awakening, the Five of Swords. This has come with conflict, this says, right? So this is the Phoenix, right? The Phoenix energy, right? And it's breaking the chains. It's breaking the chains. So this is the awakening of you as a divine feminine, right? And the part of them that fights not with violence, you don't fight with violence, but you fight with truth and boundaries and a refusal to be dominated anymore. Either physically dominated, mentally dominated, emotionally dominated. You're done. You're done. You're choosing you. So this is really, really positive. So what ancestral or past life wound is ready to be released through the body, right? So what's the ancestral wound, or what's that Cathar wound that you're ready to let go of? Well, this is the patriarchy, right? The patriarchal control wound. So what does the patriarchy do with the feminine chaos? They control it. They want to control it. So this is past lives, Cathars, right? Of religious dominance, right? Religious dominance. This is total head over heart, right? This belief system. This is forced celibacy, right? Forced celibacy, that sex is evil. And then exile from your own body, exile from your own body. So the emperor here is like the false father. So this is the church, the Demiurge system. The male partner, it could be the male partner too. Even the inner tyrant who claimed dominion over your form. Like, who controls your body? Who controls your body? And this is from your past life, right? Do you see how religion has controlled the body, the divine feminine's body? So you must release the contract that says, in order to be safe, I must obey. In order to be safe, I must obey this masculine, right? I must stay small, right? And then I'll be safe. Then I'll survive. You're letting this go, divine feminine. So what gift is trying to emerge from the descent? You're descending into the body, right? You're sinking into the body. What's the gift here? Well, you've got the Nine of Pentacles. That's a nice gift. And then the Six of Pentacles reversed. So this is your own pleasure, right? This is your own pleasure. Taking pleasure in your own body. This is erotic, right? This is erotic, like enjoying your body in a sensual, erotic way. For you, not for someone else, but for you. So this is the ability to receive, too, without guilt, to receive without guilt, and give from wholeness, not overcompensation. So this gift here is like, I don't need to be fed crumbs. I'm done with being fed with crumbs, right? Crumbs of love. I'm the harvest. I'm the harvest. I can choose my body without apology. I'll choose my body without apology. And then, what frequency are you being invited to embody now? And that's the Ten of Pentacles reversed. So what is this saying? Because this is the family card, right? It's the ancestral card too. It's your lineage. So this means that you don't need to repeat. You don't need to repeat what your mother did, your grandmother did. You don't need to repeat your religion, right? Your religious beliefs, your lineage. You get to create a whole new template here, right? A whole new story. You don't need to repeat your ancestry. And one that includes your body, right? It includes your body, your respect for your own body, your voice, your pleasure, your desires. You get to rewrite it. And then the anchor is the Seven of Swords, and this means that a great lie is being exposed this week. So you've lived under a program that told you that your body isn't trustworthy, right? Cathars would teach you that. Your body's not trustworthy. You can't trust it. It comes from the Demiurge. It's evil. Your body's evil. Your desire is dangerous. Your desire is dangerous, right? Your feminine desire is dangerous. So this breaks the spell, right? This is total a spell breaker, this reading here. So it shows you what was stolen from you and how to reclaim it. So let's look at the spirit animals. You got stingray reversed, right? And lamb reversed. That should be the other way around. So this is unprocessed emotions, especially in your root chakra and your sacral. So this is fear of moving forward because of the pain. And that's the thing, when you start moving forward, this pain will start to be released, but you are the alchemist, right? Embrace the chaos. You're going to embrace the chaos that's releasing. And through that is the way, right? That's the way through your liberation. And then the lamb reversed is innocence that's been exiled, and that's the gift of the three. The sacred sensual softness that you've been taught to be ashamed of, right? So this is your body is speaking, right? So you must feel the tremble and remember the gentleness here. Okay, so that's what we have for the fractal. Okay, so let's go for twin flames here. Right there. Twin flames. For the third gate. So we've got what karmic pattern is being released, and that's the Eight of Swords reversed. So this is the karmic loop of mental entrapment, victim stories, and internalized blame. So Divine Feminine, this is for the Divine Feminines, are breaking the spell of I must shrink to be loved. I need to be small to be loved. Can't take up too much space, right? He's on the pedestal. I'm not on the pedestal. I can't move unless he does. I can't heal unless he heals. I'm not allowed to want more here. So this is the release of self-imposed, right? Because look at her. She's looking into the mirror, right? She's looking into the mirror, and she's not bound. So that's like you. This is just a mind trip on your part. In the recognition that the cage was never locked. So this is really good. Divine Feminine, you're releasing this. So how is your body guiding you towards sacred union? You've got the Eight of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. And so this is devotion to your own inner, into your own body, right? The union begins in your body. It's like come into the body. Divine Feminine, come into your body. Choose yourself and touch yourself like you're sacred. Touch your body like you're sacred. And show up for yourself the way you want your Divine Masculine to show up. You want to show up like that yourself, right? Treat yourself the way you want your Divine Masculine to treat you. Okay, and then celebrate, right? Not after you've been chosen, but this is about choosing yourself. Celebrate now because you're choosing yourself. This is a big lesson for the twin flames, right? Is to come in union with themselves and choose themselves. Okay. So your grounded embodiment are building the energetic foundation, because the Four of Wands is a twin flame card, of the twin flame union long before it's visible, right? Long before it's visible in the 3D. So union starts in your spine, union starts in your hips, union starts in your breath, twin flame. And what illusion about love is ready to dissolve right here, Nine of Pentacles. Well, the illusion that independence is safe. If I'm independent and I don't rely on anybody, then it's safe. And that you need to be alone forever, right? You need to be alone forever. So you've worn this independence like armor. I'm independent. I'm the boss of me, right? You've done it all yourself. And yes, it's made you powerful. It's made you powerful. But it's also made you lonely and walled off and guarded. So you're being asked to dissolve the pride that hides your ache, right? This hyper-independence that prevents true intimacy. And the story that I don't need anyone, right? I'm a rock, I'm an island. So you're ready to receive now. You're ready to receive now. Not as dependency, like codependent, but as divine co-creation. You're really ready to meet your divine masculine, right? For divine co-creation. So what aspect of your true self, right, is rising now to meet your counterpart? And that's the Six of Pentacles reversed. So this is your ability to stop overgiving. You're not going to overgive anymore. And so this is the part of you that I won't give you my body unless I'm being nourished. I'm not going to give my body away like before. I won't pour into you. I won't invest into you when you're investing into someone else, right? My divine masculine, my twin is investing in another woman. I'm not going to invest in my divine masculine, right? I have self-respect now. I won't spiritually parent you, right? I'm not going to parent you anymore. I'm not going to be your mother. You no longer need to prove your worth, right? You're only accepting balance, right? The Six of Pentacles, upright. You're only accepting balance now, right? You know your self-worth now. And then what does your divine masculine mirror feel but cannot say? Knight of Swords and moon, and the moon reversed. So the divine masculine is hearing you, right? He hears you calling him in energy, and it's scaring him. And he's sensing, right? He's sensing your clarity, your truth, your shadow work that you've been doing, your energetic boundary. But he doesn't yet know how to respond without impulsively reacting or running. That's the Knight of Swords. So this is why your divine masculine mirror may feel distant, defensive, or flooded with unexplainable feelings. He feels you rising, but hasn't found the language yet to match your frequency here. Right? So just in delay. But in fear, a lot of fear coming up about this union. Because what does it do? It leads to ego death, right? They're here. And that's the only way he can come to you, is that ego's got to go. So then the anchor cards, here you got the Three of Cups reversed in the Hierophant. And so this is celebration will come, but it must be built on devotion, not distraction, devotion to yourself. So your higher self says stop feeding third-party dynamics, divine feminine, right? If you've got third-party. So this could be a person, maybe your karmic person you're feeding. Maybe you're distracting yourself with low-vibe friends, right? Maybe you're feeding really bad habits, because that can be a third party too. It's like to stop distracting yourself. And the higher self says stop celebrating breadcrumbs. And this is not casual love. Twin flame connections are not about casual love, right? This is a sacred union that's been orchestrated by the divine. The divine is bringing you two together, right? It's not casual. So the Hierophant is the spiritual contract, right? Being rewritten. And it starts with your body, divine feminine. It starts with your body. So you're not here to repeat karmic patterns of unreciprocated love, right? You're here to build something, and it starts with you. So this is a message of really going deeper into your own inner work. And then you've got the Panther reversed. So this is the repressed rage, right? It's your erotic fire. It's your desire, your feminine desire. And the dark feminine power is still caged, right? It's still caged within you, the dark feminine power. And Panther says, don't sedate me. Don't bypass me, right? Don't push me down. Let me rise, right? Let this energy rise within me. And so you're learning to embody like the righteous rage, your sacred hunger, your desire, your dark eroticism, right? And once Panther is welcome, she becomes the guardian, not the destroyer. So she wants to be expressed. Like, go back to those 5 things you can do. Okay, so that's the twin flames. And then the twin flames. And then what are we going to do? Okay, so let's go to, well, who's up next here? The MGs. Ooh, there's the MGs. So manifesting generators, what's blocking you from full body embodiment? The King of Swords reversed and the Ten of Pentacles. So what does this say? That your mind is running the show. Your mind is running the show. And as soon as we say that, what do we know? That your not self is running the show, don't we? Manifesting generators. So it's been programmed, right? This is generational, right? It's the Ten of Pentacles. It's generational that you have completely shut down your body and the mind's running the show. So your intelligence, your intellect has kept you safe. Your ability to plan and teach and organize and lead has earned you love, or at least approval by others. But now, this construct is turning into a prison for you, right? It's not working for you anymore, MGs. So you're trapped between a mental identity, like, oh, she's so smart. That manifesting generator. You're so smart. You're so good at organizing this and that. You built a whole identity around your mind. Oh, you're so clever, right? You're so good with language and this and that. But now this is falling apart, right? And so this is the body wants something wild. Your body's not satisfied with this anymore, being a head on a stick. Right? Your body wants something wild. Your body wants something chaotic and real and wants to feel something, right? So this is, you've built the empire and now you want to burn it down, right? You want to burn it down. You want to start afresh. You want to get rid of this identity. It's not you anymore. You've outgrown it, right? Third gate, you've outgrown it. You moved past the 60 and you're into the third now. So what does the sacral want them to know about your current desire path? And look, you got the devil. And the devil here is saying that desire is not your problem. Maybe you're looking at desire, oh, my body's desires, there's something wrong with it. I'm ashamed of this, of my body's desires, right? I got to use that mind, but it's not working anymore. So the devil here says desire is not your problem. What's killing you is shame. Is shame and denying your erotic truth, right? Denying your eros, right? Denying your feminine desires that are not coming from your head. They're coming from your body. So your body's showing you something right now. And the sacral is screaming, right? Your sacral, your body is screaming, stop calling me bad. Stop calling me evil and wrong, right? And stop putting your true cravings on a shelf. Mark later. I'll do that later, right? Stop choosing safety over aliveness, right? You're choosing safety, which is like death. It's like a death to your body, over alive, like what makes you feel alive. Your body's showing you where to go, to feel alive. So this isn't about sex for pleasure. It's not about having sex for pleasure here. It's about claiming the part of you that pulses, that's alive, that throbs, that howls and says, this is what I want. This is what lights me up as an MG. This is what I ache for. And then you own it, right? And yes, it may destroy your old life, but what's dying was never you. It was only a mask. That's the only thing that's dying right now is this mental identity. It's a mask. So your desire is like burning. And if you got the 30th gate, maybe you got the 30th gate, you know this, right? The clinging fire. It's desire. It's desire. You can't get rid of it. But again, MGs, it's coming from your soul, right? It's not coming from your ego and your mind. And it's too powerful to like stuff down your sexual desire. So the anchor is the sun reversed, and this is joy that's buried. So your truth is dimmed. Your inner child is watching you play pretend. Your inner child knows that you're a big faker, right? Look at you, you're wearing this mask, and your inner child is like, what's she doing that for? Why doesn't she just be herself? So the sun reversed says you've been shining in the wrong direction. You've been investing in the wrong things, the wrong people. So turned inward, let the joy come from pleasure, right? From pleasure, not performance, not wearing a mask. Let your true joy come from your own pleasure. So you're being asked to let go of the light that was for others and rediscover radiance that lives in your own sacral, right? Your own sacral fire. So get in touch with that, right? And go to the 5 things to do right at the end of the teaching part of this video. And then look at the spirit animal. You got the dragon. You got the dragon there. So this is a soul level initiation into your very powerful, to your true power. And this is one that transcends your personality and your productivity. So the dragon, it's interesting, it's connected to the 55th gate, dragon, is the guardian of your solar plexus gate. And 55 rules the solar plexus. So this is the place where you meet identity, right? Where you meet identity. And it whispers, look in the mirror. You're not confused. You're not confused. You're just afraid of how big your knowing is right now. So breathe into your gut and the fire will guide you. And dragon, it sees beyond the illusion, right? So dragon is seeing you through desire, shadow, and your holy chaos. This is to embrace your chaos, right? Manifesting generator. Embrace your chaos. Yeah. So trust your body. Let this mind go. It's taking you down some very dead-end roads, right? Some bad, taking you into some bad neighborhoods. Okay. And then, okay, we'll go to who's up next here? The projectors. The projectors. So where are you still leaking energy, projectors? That's blocking you from embodiment, right? Coming fully into your body, projector. 5 of Swords reversed in the High Priestess. So you're carrying the weight of the one who knows, right? The one who holds it all together. The one who sees too much and says too little. So you may have been... you may have lost your energetic boundaries. You may have lost your own trust in your knowingness. And so there's a clarity between guiding others versus protecting your own essence. So this is leaking your energy, trying to protect others from the truth. But in doing so, you abandon your own body's truth. Right? So you're trying to protect everybody. And you're not... honoring your own body's truth, your physical body. So you're leaking energy. That's what this is saying. And then what environment or rhythm does your body need, right? Now to soften. So this means you need joy. You need more joy in your life, projectors. A non-demanding joy. Indulgent self-devotion without the dog and pony show. And so your body needs to feel touched, right? You need affection, right? So you need to feel touched, nourished, fed, celebrated. Not for what your body gives, but for what it is. Just because you're in a body, right? You're going to celebrate it just for what it is. So you've been the Spartan too long, right? So this card says to come home to sensual joy. Because with projectors, like the MGs, they can live in their heads too, right? Because they can take in so much information. They're designed for that, right? So this is to come home to sensual joy, sensual joy. So go back to the last part of the teaching section of the video and do those 5 things. So the sacred is allowed to taste good, right? So this is about embracing your senses, this is saying. So what soul gift is activating in your aura when you come back into the body? Well, the Page of Pentacles. So this is your oracle self is rising. And this isn't a mystic in the sky, right? Because there's a pentacle there. It's the mystic with your hands in the soil, creating, right? Writing, teaching, crafting a body-led way of living. It's the gift of simplicity and your presence, and it's offering your truth without burnout. So your magic becomes magnetic when they embody what they teach, right? As the projector. So you want to embody what you teach and share with others. So the spirit animal, oh no, we forgot the judgment here. I couldn't see it. So this is the rebirth moment for you. But if only you answer the call of your own body. So judgment says you don't need to save anybody. Nobody needs saving. You just need to rise out of your own grave, right? Out of your own grave. So you're shedding the false projections, the energetic codependency, and the old guilt. So this is a Phoenix card, right? This one, this is a soul resurrection. And the spirit animal is tiger and hummingbird. And so tiger is solitary, it's sensual, it's presence that demands nothing. Tiger demands nothing, but sees everything. So tiger is teaching you to move when it's time, to rest without shame or guilt, and to claim your desires with a quiet fire. And tiger helps projectors reclaim their sacred erotic power without apology, right? No apology. No shame about your erotic power, right? And interestingly enough, too, is Ra talked about projectors. And projectors out of all the types are the best lovers, right? Because they're so in tune with the other types. So you got that going on. So no apologies, right? Projectors, you're the tiger. And then you've got hummingbirds. And this is the lightness of joy, the medicine of the present moment. And hummingbird is teaching you to stop chasing, especially if you're a twin. No chasing anymore. And you want to drink the nectar that's available now. So trust the sweetness without waiting for permission. And this balances the tiger's depth, right? Because this is like play and levity and softness. Yeah. Very good for the projectors. Okay, and now we'll go to, who's up? Manifestors. Here, sun in the third gate. So the question here is, what ancestral or karmic suppression is still influencing your ability to feel, desire, and initiate from the body? You got the Queen of Swords. So you have been guarded in your mind, right? Because the body once cost you everything. Your intellect became a fortress, right? And your sensuality was shamed. So your words became weapons when your voice was ignored, and your wisdom became armor when your softness was unsafe. So this is a woman that's cut off her feelings to stay in control, the Queen of Swords, right? She doesn't need to be less sharp. She needs to trust her body enough to be fully present again. So you don't need to be sharper, right? I got to improve my intellect more, right? My use of language and words. It's like, no, I need to be soft. I need to be present in my body. So what's ready to awaken, right? What's ready to awaken here is the Fool. And this is freedom for you. This is raw, untamed. It's sensual. It's free. So your body is calling you to unlearn, unmask, and step into a new cycle of movement, voice, pleasure, and creation without carrying the guilt of being too much. So the Fool says you're allowed to start again, manifestors, without your rules, without your shame, right? So this is like starting again, right? But dropping this mind, being present, fully present in your body. And what frequency must you hold to move towards, right, embodiment? Well, you must stop silencing your emotions, right, to stay empowered. Hiding your softness so that you're respected, right? Nobody's going to respect me if I'm soft. Denying your longing to stay untouchable. So this is like your emotions have been unfelt for a long time. And this is the divine contradiction. To be both the initiator, because you're a manifestor, right? And so being the initiator, but also being the one that cries, right? That's soft, that has needs. So you must reclaim your divine ache, the part of you that wants to be met, not just followed, not to have other people just follow you. And then you've got the hawk and the phoenix here. So the hawk is clear vision. This is piercing truth. So the hawk reminds you that you see far, but you must also come down to earth, right? So your vision has to be grounded, your breath, right? Integrate it, slow and integrate it, and then stillness, power contained. So Hawk says, let the body be your message, right? So coming into the body, come down to earth, Hawk is saying. And then Phoenix, this is your soul confirmation. You're not just a manifestor, you're an original flame rebirthing herself through embodied chaos and sacred descent into the body. So you got to burn the mental armor up here and shed the emotional exile right here and initiate your own return. Right? So the phoenix rises not because she escapes the fire, but because she becomes it. She becomes the fire. She bursts into flames, right? The phoenix. Okay. And then... Okay, and then we'll go for the generators. The generators, that's the manifestors. There's the generators here. Okay, for the generators. So what sacred no? What sacred no have you been ignoring in your body when your sacral's been saying no? What have you been ignoring? Ace of Pentacles. You've been saying yes to new beginnings that look grounded, but they feel heavy. You've been investing your energy in karmic relationships. That's what this says. Security-based decisions, right? Fear-based decisions, right? Dynamics that demand more than they give. And just because it's real or offered doesn't mean it's right for you. But your sacral knows, generators. The body says, if it doesn't feel like fertile ground, if it's not lighting up, it's not a yes. So what's the sacral trying to bring you back to? And that's so funny. I think you've got generators. You got the Eight of Pentacles like 3 times in a row, at least. I remember from last week. And I think I said last week, oh, here it is again, which makes sense, right? This is the work card. So this is devotion to yourself. It's taking pleasure in your process, not just the results, right? So your body wants sacred rhythm. It wants erotic routine. So being affectionate and sensual with your body. Go to the end of the teaching part of this video to look at 5 things you can do. And one thing at a time, and done with love. So your sacral is whispering, right? You don't have to chase, right? You don't have to chase, just choose. And then go deep, right? And when you stop trying to get somewhere and start honoring the present now moment, that's when the body opens. Because as soon as you're like, I got to get somewhere else, you're in the mind. You're in the not self. And what are you being asked to relate to now in terms of your relationships? 5 of Swords reversed. Stop fighting for the crumbs, right, of love. Stop trying to win what should be freely given. Stop demanding something when it should be freely given to you. So this card says walk away from energetic warfare. Stop trying to prove, right, that they're the one, right? Let this dynamic detoxify. Stop trying to prove yourself, right, that you're the one. Why you should choose me. So your union is not something, your relationship is not something to be won, it's something to be received when aligned, right? So you're not earning it. The anchor is the 8 of Cups reversed, and this is the wound. These are the emotional loops that keep you circling back, that say, maybe I missed something, maybe I can fix it this time. Maybe if I just give more, right? Maybe if I do this, but the body's saying it's time for you to go deeper, not go back, go deeper. And that's, there's more love ahead when you're still, there's more love ahead than what you're still looking for behind you, right? So this is like to move on. The spirit animal here is the nightingale, and there's the panther again. So this is your voice, your truth, your sacred song, and the nightingale reminds you that your voice is part of your healing, and your truth must be sung out loud. Well, nightingale is just about Ethel Merman, right? Like just belting it out. That's what you need to do. So you don't need volume, you just need vibration. You need vibration. So let your sound lead your sacral. And this is good, like the hum to yourself. What else can you do? Like sing and sigh, right? That's going to help too. Move that energy in your sacral. And then we got the panther, and the panther's repressed rage, right? This is bringing arrows back, right? So the panther returns when the woman stops pretending she's okay. Panther says, get the I'm fine face off, right? Stop pretending you're okay and you're not. So stop suppressing your no, right? Start listening to your sacral. Do it this week. Let the fire speak. Let the boundaries rise. You're allowed to be powerful in your pleasure. That's what Panther is saying here too. Okay. So you're not a machine, right? You're a vessel. You're a vessel, generators here. Hopefully that helped. Okay. And then we'll finish this off with the reflectors here. And what emotional environment, this one, or energetic imprint are you still carrying that's not yours? And you got Magician and King of Pentacles, both landed sideways. So you're carrying the weight of other people's expectations, right? You're carrying the need to manifest for everybody, to hold the masculine container, to be the steady one, I'm going to be the steady one. Even when you're dissolving inside. So you've been acting like the magician for other people's dreams and not your own. So holding false structures to feel useful, the King of Pentacles, right? That's not correct for you. And your inner world is begging for you to go in and to be still, and to be still. And your body's saying, right? So people are projecting that you're the guide, you got it all together, you're the container, you're the solution. And your body is like, I just want to be, right? I don't want to do, I just want to be. So what sacred rhythm or ritual can you anchor into here to come into form, right? Come into your body that will quiet and stillness. No more competition, no more comparison, no more trying to be spiritual enough. So your ritual is cleansing your auric field of other people, right? Unsubscribing from intensity is worth, right? Returning to the gentle movement, lunar journaling, because you're a reflector, and silence and intuitive breath, and a place where nothing needs to be fixed, just felt. Sounds like you want to rest, right? So what's the true mirror function here in your relationships is the star reversed in the Four of Swords. You're not here to reflect the other person's ego. You're here to reflect the soul's healing, the divine blueprint, and the body's rest codes. But right now, you're exhausted from being the mirror. When no one is asking, right, how you feel. This was a message from last week, too. I remember it. When you're expected to shine while still in recovery. So the truth is you're healing in private, right? You're not failing in public. It's like you need time to yourself, right? So your gift is to show, you're showing your relationships the beauty of slowing down, of silence, of surrender, of becoming soft enough to even hear the divine, right? Whisper in your bones. And the anchor is the Justice card, reversed. And so this is saying that the scales have been imbalanced for lifetimes, not just this lifetime. So reflectors giving energy that they don't have to hold systems that were never sacred. So this card is you don't owe everybody your reflection, and you don't need to carry their shadow to feel valuable. And let your body receive what has been denied, which is time, stillness, and equality and truth. So then you got the horse here. And the horse brings freedom, movement without force, and the reminder that you are still wild. You're a wild reflector, right? You're not domesticated. And you're still meant to run, but only when the earth says go. So the horse is teaching reflectors to wait for the invitation, not just from others, but from their own bodies. You're waiting from your own body. To trust the cycles of stillness and to move only when the wind inside says yes. This is the freedom to stop being everybody's container and instead be your own sacred rhythm. Awesome. Okay. So there I have that. And hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, you can like my video and share it. And please leave your comments, especially if you're a high priestess in hiding. That's the first step. I'm a high priestess in hiding because it can be really, really scary with this people on my fractal to become visible. Because if you're on my fractal, it means the other people are on my fractal, and that means they're on your fractal, and it's a great way to connect, right? And to step out of the closet, the spiritual closet. And so yeah, do that. And I love reading the comments, right? So I will see you. Maybe I'll announce that later, but I'll see you on Friday for Friday's drop. Okay. So, nam aloha, everybody. Bye-bye.